Well done, Blizzard. You have finally done something so heinous that I can no longer be a part of your gaming community. Now, for those members of my audience who don't know what this issue is, let me briefly recap. As you can see on screen, a professional player of Hearthstone in a tournament recently expressed in a post-match interview support for the protests in Hong Kong, calling for freedom for Hong Kong. Blizzard, partly owned by the Chinese company Tencent, have decided they don't like that. Blizzard, an American company, which is meant to be a bastion of free speech and democracy, have decided to close down free speech on behalf of their Chinese paymasters. And this article says everything in the title. It pulls him from a tournament over support for Hong Kong protests. They've also cancelled his prize winnings and banned him from Hearthstone esports for 12 months. This action has not gone down very well, as can be seen by some of the comments on Twitter. Just doing a simple search on Blizzard China Pride. Here's one. We are very angered and disappointed at what happened at the event last weekend and highly object to the expression of personal political beliefs in any of our events. As always, we will defend the pride and dignity of China at all costs. That's an official statement from Blizzard, an American company based in the United States. First Amendment, freedom of speech and all of that. And their response is to say, we will defend the pride and dignity of China at all costs. Just look at some of the responses here. They literally posted a message on their Weibo, which is the Chinese equivalent of Twitter, that apologised to China for the situation and ended with saying, we will always respect and defend the pride of China. It's an especially egregious example in Blizzard's case where they put pride flags on all of their social media but then remove black and gay characters from games to appease China. That's a whole nother story. And there are some YouTubers that cover that very, very well. It's getting slammed by US senators. Epic's Games have come out and said that they would never entertain banning someone from Fortnite if they expressed a view such as this. We carry on down. You guys are so screwed in BlizzCon. I hope there are enough protests to shut the entire thing down, you money-hungry a-holes. The caster punishment was something that shouldn't happen, and you guys dare to say it was to defend the pride of our country. Great China indeed. Here's one. We will, as always, be determined to maintain national dignity. Now, the words that have been used here, we strongly express our strong indignation and condemnation. We express our anger. You have to ask the question of any individual and any regime that gets so triggered that they are angry by one individual saying, free Hong Kong. What are they trying to hide? What are they so frightened of? I know. They're frightened of people actually expressing free will, because if they express free will, they might not actually want to keep those power-hungry communist leaders in control anymore. That's what they're frightened of. They have so little faith in their own system that they have to suppress anything that they see as a form of dissent. And here you've got Blizzard in America pandering and kowtowing to that. That is how Western democracies and Western values will eventually get subsumed by darker forces. You may be asking yourselves, why should we in Britain be concerned about something that's happened in the Far East and in China? Well, for the younger members of my audience who may not be aware, Hong Kong used to be a British colony between 1842 and 1997. During that period of time, Hong Kong thrived both commercially, socially and politically, and it was a bastion of Western values in the territory of China. And when the territory was handed back to China in 1997, there were concerns at the time that over the years that followed, China would start to erode the freedoms in Hong Kong in order to bring Hong Kong under the jackboot of the Chinese Communist Party. And the protests in Hong Kong at the moment are a manifestation of an increasing frustration for the people there as to what they see as this encroaching influence of the Chinese Communist Party. When Hong Kong was handed back, there was this slogan, one country, two systems, in that the territories would belong to China again, but the Chinese government would pledge to allow Hong Kong to develop its own system. Now, anybody who knows about dictatorships and communist regimes will know that there is no way that over time such a regime is going to allow a part of their country to have freedoms that the rest of the country is denied. So this conflagration that's happening in Hong Kong at the moment has an air of inevitability about it. So what can we in the West do? Probably not a lot is the actual truth in all of this. But what we should be able to expect is that American companies and British companies and any other company based in the West that values democracy, freedom of speech and self-determination for its people should be looking on with horror at what companies like Blizzard are doing. They have made it a clear marketing strategy since Diablo Immortal was announced at BlizzCon 2018 that they are after Chinese money to continue their growth, to continue their massive payouts to their executives, and they will frankly do whatever their Communist Party masters tell them to do. Not only have they shut down the voice of this particular player, they've also sacked the two commentators that this person was talking to when he made his protest. So it's worth asking the question, why are they blaming the broadcasters as well? Now, the interview was in Mandarin Chinese, so I don't know the exact details of what was said, but it does make you start to think that this is the long arm of the Chinese communist state spreading out into the very business dealings of Western companies. We've also seen in some collegiate tournament screenings that a pair of students held up a banner saying "Free Hong Kong, boycott Blizzard." The footage of that was very quickly shut down and moved to a different view, and it's since emerged that they are going to allow no more cameras filming collegiate events. This is in America, the so-called bastion of free will. But this behaviour absolutely smacks of the censorship and control that the Communist Party is famous for in China. So why are Blizzard doing this? Why are they allowing their Chinese puppet masters to dictate to them like this? There are pictures around on Twitter showing that outside Blizzard HQ there's a statue of an orc, and one of the values that is embedded in that statue is every voice matters. Well, clearly only the Chinese voice matters to Blizzard nowadays. And to start behaving in this dictatorial, censorial way is telling me now that Blizzard actually isn't controlled by Bobby Kotick and the American shareholders. It is 100% controlled by the Chinese state, represented through Tencent. Because what they have done in the past few days to shut down anyone from speaking up in favour of Hong Kong and the protest there is absolutely not the actions of a company controlled by Western values. So, what can I do sitting here in my little study talking into the video camera? And the only thing I can realistically do is never ever engage with a Blizzard game again. So the next section of this video is me uninstalling all my Blizzard games from both my PC and my Xbox. Okay, here we go. First game to delete is Diablo. Where are we? Diablo, Diablo, Diablo. There we go. Diablo 3, Reaper of Souls. Uninstall. Uninstall. The next one after that is Overwatch. Uninstall. Gone. As for my PC games, well, there is a little bit of good news. It turns out that when I got this new PC that I've been using to make these videos, I actually did not reinstall any of the Blizzard games on it. So I have not got any games on this PC to uninstall. So as of now, I'm Xbox and PC free of Blizzard. Bye bye Blizzard. Good luck for the future under your communist masters. I feel I do need to stress again how important it is to understand what is happening with Blizzard and their Chinese paymasters. China would never win a military conflict in order to spread its communist ideals to the rest of the world. So it is doing it through the marketplace. Its economy is huge. It is putting a lot of money out there for people to get through commerce and trading. And what we're seeing with Blizzard is an absolute obsession with getting the Chinese money to the point where they are willing to suppress freedom of speech in order to get it. If other companies adopt the same attitude, then we will start to see Western society being censored by the Chinese government. Do we really want that? I know I don't, and I suspect there's an awful lot of other people who don't as well. Before I go, I would like to draw your attention to two other YouTubers who have done some really, really good takes on this. One is Az at Heel vs Babyface, and you can see on the screenshot here the video he's done, which I will link in the description box below. And the other one is Yong Yea, and again there's a screenshot showing his video, which I will link into the description box below as well. Thank you for watching this video. If you like it, please leave a comment in the section below. Press like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell for notifications of future videos from the Captain Frandad gaming channel. I wish Blitzchung and all those others affected negatively by the Blizzard decision all the very best for the future. Keep up the good work, keep up the fight, and hopefully we will get to a place where freedom of speech is restored in the West. Thank you for watching.